to Scotland 2025. Road to Scotland 2025.
But he's really setting the pace here. Can he finish it? There was some talk earlier on about whether the athletes would even be able to finish this in the 75-second time limit, and Chris Beetham he's got to hit the buzzer now. He didn't hit the buzzer, so I'm not too sure what his time's going to be there. You've got to hit the buzzer to stop the clock.
Road to Scotland's 2025. Joining me now, Chris the Beef Chunk Beetham. How do I know his name's Beef Chunk? Because your email address from 23 years ago says so.
Yeah, that's it. I've kept that title ever since. Feels a bit awkward if you ever have to give it for a sort of business, email address or something like that. But
Beef Chunk.
Just stick with it.
How did you get it? Who gave it to you?
I've no idea. I just remember being at primary school and everybody was sort of talking about nicknames, and I vaguely just remember somebody calling me Beefy, and that was it. And then Beefy just sort of changed over the years into Beef.
Let's talk you. You come second at UK Strongest Man. You opened a few eyes. You surprised a few. Was you surprised yourself?
Yeah, a wee bit. To be honest, when I looked at my group, and you looked at the names there, who was it? Paddy, Matt Diamond. Was Paul in my group as well, and I thought, with events on day 2, I might actually struggle to get out this group, and I think at points it was looking actually like that. I had to pull out a good performance in bar bending, which has never been my strongest, to get to the final. But I knew with the events in the final that I would back myself to do all right, but I think even surprised myself a wee bit on the first couple of events. But by that point, the momentum's going, and you're in a strong position, and you get to see what everyone else is doing. And it was actually really interesting watching it back and seeing what the commentators were saying. What Vitautas and Jamie were saying, because I think everybody was quite surprised that I was up there with Paul and Andy. So to answer your question, yeah, I was a wee bit surprised, but it's easier when you've got that momentum and that belief there.
Yeah, you mentioned the word momentum. I really want to pick up on that a little bit. How important in a competition is momentum?
It's massive. I think it makes such a difference. You've seen it last year at Scotland's for me. I think I was second or third in the first event, but the guys I would say were my main rivals for that competition last year. Lewis Jack, Scott Milne. I don't remember who else was in it now, but they had a poorer event on the first event, so I opened up a huge points gap, and the guys that were close to me were guys I wouldn't expect to be there for the podium overall, no disrespect to them. So again, I think I went out, I placed well in the second event, and I just kept the momentum going to eventually get the title at Scotland. So for me, it's huge, and I'm hoping to get off to a good start this weekend.
Many consider you as the favourite for Scotland's Strongest Man now. Does that add pressure?
A wee bit, yeah, a wee bit. But I think, to be honest, I'd always put that pressure on myself anyway, because I want to go and I want to win. And even the last 5 years I've been doing Ultimate Strongman, Scotland's, and UK's, I want to go in and I want to win them all. So going into this weekend, there's a pressure, the expectation a wee bit, but I would always put that on myself anyway to perform. So I suppose the main pressure is the unknown of a few of the guys. Obviously, I've competed against almost everybody in the lineup before, but some of them I've not competed against for a year or 2 years, and they've had that time to improve. So that's the pressure.
With some unknown quantities in there, sometimes you can get people that are particularly good at maybe one thing, and that can snap away at the points and really mix things up. Is that something you're worried about?
I wouldn't say I was worried, but it's something you keep in your mind, and it's also, you can use it as in a sort of reverse way, that if people are taking points off me on, say, the deadlift, which people might, that I know there's 4 other events that are all worth the same amount of points, and I know if I stay top 3 in all of them, I'm going to be in a good chance overall anyway. So it's just about having that sort of self-belief there as well, that even if you're not brilliant at an event, just place high enough that you're not losing too many points.
There's a certain competitor by the name of Callum Crozier, and a lot of people are talking about Callum as being a possible title contender. How do you see that, and what is your rivalry and your friendships with Callum?
Yeah, Callum's a great guy. He's absolutely phenomenal. He's a phenomenal athlete. I used to love him years ago because he was in all the weight classes and I never had to try and beat him. And then he came up to Opens and we've had a close couple of battles. He's beat me a couple of times, I've beat him a couple of times. So again, it's literally, I think I toss a coin this weekend. He's one of the guys that I wouldn't say I'm worried about, but it's certainly in my mind because he's been away for a year, maybe slightly over a year, training really hard. He's now basically full-time strongman, and he's going to be phenomenal. So I'm going to have to be at my absolute best to beat him. But when you get us, the both of us in the same room, we got on great. We got on like a house on fire. He's been at my house and trained. He's been at my gym and trained. And if we lived a wee bit closer together, I'll try and train him more often. But it's going to be interesting this weekend. Try to beat him because I know his weaknesses have come up as well. His weakness in years gone by was his overhead and his yoke. There's not a yoke in this, and I know his overhead's really good now. So it's all to play for.
Do you see it being Chris Beetham, Callum Crozier 1-2? I'm not saying
absolutely no disrespect to any of the other guys. There's some phenomenal strongmen in there, but a lot of the guys in the lineup are either really sort of fresh on the scene over the last few years, and they've got bags and bags of potential. But I think experience in Glens comps goes a long way, and having experienced like the UK's and Scotland's in the past and knowing how fast it's run and things like the way the warm-ups go, I think that's really critical to have experienced that. And then the other guys who have been there for a few years, I think maybe they've had injuries or it's maybe not their best events. So I do look at I'm actually quite anal about every competitor, and I'll do a wee spreadsheet and I'll maybe score points for everybody on every event.
Do you do that?
And every single comp.
And
I'll see.
I knew another strongman that did that. Would actually work out to the placings where everyone would come. That's how they done it.
And for me, I think it gives me confidence going in, but it also makes me aware of where I cannot. You don't want to go into an event and make a mistake anyway. But some of them you can go a bit more crazy than others. But some of them I have to be a bit more careful to no drop points. So that's kind of how I deal with it. And I'm never far away with my spreadsheets. So me and Callum were kind of out ahead on this one, unless there's a disaster happens.
So you've done a spreadsheet for the UK strongest man, just going backwards slightly. Where did you put yourself pre-comp?
I had myself in the eliminator on day 2, but I had myself on the podium on day 3.
Oh, really?
Okay. Aye.
And you've done a spreadsheet for this one. Can I ask where you put yourself?
I am half a point ahead of Callum when they win. So, and it's based on nothing, really.
Yeah.
It's based on what I know about athletes, what I believe I can do myself, what you see on Instagram. And it's based on nothing, but, I'm normally pretty close to it. So
this is quite a fascinating insight because you're coming across, obviously you call yourself the beef, which is beef and brawn and strength and everything else, but you're actually like the thinking man, strong man. And I never, until this conversation, I never
ever think that.
I never. Well, I just didn't know you would go that deep into it.
I like to see. Be honest, I was never the strongest guy ever, and I've 10 years in the game now, and I've had to sort of figure out how to get better and figure out ways of doing things and making things work. And it's just part of my process now that I'm pretty good on computers. I do a lot of coaching, a lot of programming for people, and it became a natural thing for me to do that.
Yeah, it's quite amazing. It's amazing to hear, and it's great to get the insight into it. That's for sure. So we've had the UK strongest man. You finished second. How do you train up to Scotland's now? 'Cause it's not that far away, is it?
No, that's it. I don't think we had much time at all. I can't remember now. I think it was 5, 6 weeks, but I actually had another competition in between as well. So basically, just kept me. The main focus was on recovery, and I know I can do pretty much any event. You can throw at me now. I've got the experience of almost everything, so it's just like a familiarization, and just kind of, I train like a lot of EMOMs and stuff like that, just so I'm not really forcing myself to work too hard, but I'm getting a lot of familiarization with like the stone, and just making sure I squeeze it, and just keeping ticking over really, and making sure I get in a good place. Because once you familiarize yourself with each implement, if you can just repeat that over and over again, but at not an extreme weight or an extreme percentage, um, it brings your fitness levels up as well. And I've got that confidence going into it. Whereas I think it's a wee bit different for a lot of guys that they maybe do like one set at comp weight and blast it out. Whereas I kind of train a wee bit different to that and just try and get more exposure to it.
Would you look back at the competition? You said you have already because you've been, you commented on, the expert analysis, Jamie and Vitortus and that, what they were saying through the competition. But would you look at a competition and then analyze your performance and break it down, like little mistakes or little, maybe a second or two you could pick up here and
Yeah,
there or whatever?
yeah. Just I love that side of it as well. I love the data, and when I get the chance to analyze anything, I will. So I basically watched UK's twice. I watched it once for fun, and then once to really see where I could get better, and try and analyse the points. And really everybody was going on about the keg loading, and Andrew beat me by 5 seconds or so in that, but actually he only beat me by a second on the tyre flip, and I made one slight mistake on that, which was when it was my very first push, and I pushed it over the tyre bobbled slightly before I went in and flipped it. And I think if that had just landed perfectly flat, I would have got my first flip quicker and built the confidence for there and that momentum. So I think that's where it was lost actually. But these things happen.
Listen, it's
Nature of
great.
the sport.
Do you know what? I was told a long, long time ago, when you get to the top like you are, it's small margins. It's literally the flip of a tire, or the pickup of a
Yeah,
yoke, or whatever you're doing. It can be as simple as that. And obviously,
yeah,
that's it,
absolutely.
it rings true. Scotland's strongest man at the Braehead Arena. It's an upgrade, I think it's fair to say, and that's being
Yeah,
respectful to the previous venue, which was Grangemouth, which served us so well for a very, very long time. But we're indoors, we're in an arena. What difference is that going to make? And who have you got coming to support you?
yeah. It's great to see the progression over the years. So I think the very first Ultimate Scotland's was down in Kelso or down the border somewhere, which I
Yes.
never went to. But the first one I went to was Grangemouth, and it's been there for the last, I don't know, four years maybe. Um, So when I think of Ultimate Scotland's Strongest Man, it's Grangemouth. But I've been into Braehead Arena. I went and watched one of the ice hockey games there, which was amazing. And I was just imagining what it would look like, with Glenn's colourful flooring and seeing it all set up. And it's going to be incredible. I think the noise is going to be fantastic. There's a lot of people for my family coming. My boys are coming again, so that'll be interesting. Scotland's such a tight knit group across the whole community that even some of the fans and supporters that are coming to support other guys, I know them really well as well. So it makes it just such a big fun environment to compete in. With the arena, it's going to be interesting because it is an ice hockey arena. So just dealing with the conditions that presents a wee bit with the flooring, perhaps that'll be interesting. So again, guys like myself and Scott and Liam Goldie have experienced that. I don't know if any of the other guys have experienced what that might feel like, so they'll have to figure that out in the day for themselves. But I can't wait. It's going to be amazing. It's such a class venue, and I think the noise is going to be unbelievable.
I think it's the emphasis this year is on fire, apparently, for your special effects. I'll let you into a little secret.
Yeah,
So
awesome.
it's going to be very interesting, that's for sure.
Yeah, well, I nearly got my face melted off after the bar bending at the UK, so I'll be watching out for those pyrotechnics this time.
Absolutely, looks great in the crowd, though, doesn't it?
Oh, aye, it was amazing. Aye, it was so cool. There's nothing better when you walk out and that fire goes off behind you. It's like, boom, like, yes, here to go now.
It makes for a great photo as well.
Yeah.
What would you say to someone who's never been to a strongman competition and maybe wants to look to grab those last few tickets for the Braehead Arena on the 10th?
I think you come for the strongman, but you'll maybe stay for the emotion, because when you see how emotional we get, how emotional everybody gets, and they're all buying in, and you'll feel a part of it, you know. And you'll probably, if you've never been to a strongman comp before, you'll maybe pick somebody out that is your favourite, that you love, and that's cool. You know, there's somebody there for everybody, I think.
There's somebody there
But,
for you. Never a truer word spoken. I think some people come there as a total neutral and a total newcomer to the sport, and then they pick a favourite. They find something they like about someone or in common or whatever. They pick their favourites, and that's it. And that's the one.
Even just the way they react to the way somebody reacts to an event win, or you know, Lewis doing the worm or something like that. You know what I mean? It's like, oh, they're amazing. They're my new favourite, and so I think that emotional kind of involvement will keep you tied in for years to come.
Yeah, keep you tied in. That's for sure. At the end, with the 5 events done, we'll be reading out the scores. There'll be a podium. Where will you be sitting on it?
I'll be on it. It's going to be extremely close. When I visualise it in my own mind, I'm on the number 1 spot. But, you know, I've been in this game long enough that anything can happen. And, you know, we'll soon see.
We'll soon see. You got it in. Chris Beetham, good luck at the Braehead Arena. Road to Scotland's strongest man. Can you retain your title? In the words of Glenn Ross,
we'll soon see.
Road to Scotland's 2025. Road to Scotland's 2025.